One of the first things that stood out to me when getting Red Dead Redemption 2 was not just the sheer amount of features that the game had, it wasn't all of the activities, the amazing story. There was something that stood out to me beyond any of that, and that was the fact that we could go to New Austin. Now, the first thing I thought was, it doesn't make sense for the gang to go to New Austin at any point, because in Red Dead Redemption 1, John Marston says he and the gang had always been meaning to get down there but never did, and that the furthest that they had gone was Blackwater during the botched robbery. So after putting out this poll and seeing that you guys would like some Red Dead Redemption stuff, I figured this would be a good place to start it off, because I love Red Dead Redemption. It is one of my favorite video game series of all time, if not the #1 favorite for me, maybe only equal to the Metal Gear Solid series. But I'm trying to find out today, was it ever intended after the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2 to seamlessly go into the events of Red Dead Redemption 1 and have it all happen within one game world? And as always, and I'm going to start prefacing every video with this, take a lot of the speculation and stuff here with a grain of salt. So Red Dead Redemption 2's development and the stuff that we know about it kind of reveals some compelling evidence that Rockstar originally planned a much more ambitious integration of the entire Red Dead Redemption 1 map. Multiple sources confirm that Arthur Morgan was initially intended to explore New Austin, with extensive cut content supporting this theory. New Austin locations, including Armadillo, Tumbleweed, and McFarland's Ranch, all had dialogue options for Arthur that weren't in the game. Arthur's journal also contains unused entries and drawings specifically for New Austin points of interest that can only be accessed through glitches. The Tumbleweed Sheriff even has cut dialogue directly addressing Arthur by name. Now, while this canonically wouldn't make any sense, it seems like Rockstar was trying to play into every player's choices. If a player chose to go to New Austin and, break the lore or whatever, it seems that they wanted to have it set up to where the world would still react to you very much like it does everywhere else in Red Dead Redemption 2. Because you've probably noticed this too. If you go down to New Austin, things don't feel nearly as fleshed out as the rest of the game, but it's there and it's a huge landmass. And there's even bits of Mexico.
Laura's Day!
Louisa.
What? Oh yes, I know Laura as well. Magnificent girl. Like riding a pompous bull it was, amigo. You never saw anything like it.
So let's talk about Mexico real quick. Mexico from Red Dead Redemption 1 was originally planned to be fully explorable in Red Dead Redemption 2. Data mining revealed low-resolution textures, settlement models, and text files relating to Mexico in the game's code. The original music from the OG Red Dead Redemption can still even be triggered when players get into Mexico. Now, the only way to get into Mexico isn't a bridge like in Undead Nightmare or on a raft like in Red Dead Redemption 1. You have to glitch into it. But there are locations in Mexico that were being developed and reworked. So it's unclear whether this was planned to be online content that would be added later, or if it was just going to be here for players to explore, even though the single-player campaign never takes you here. Or for my big conspiracy theory, it could eventually be opened up to the player through the events of Red Dead Redemption 1 after a seamless integration with Red Dead Redemption 2's story.
You puto. One day, I promise you, you're gonna regret this.
And it's really cool too, because when you go to New Austin as John in 1907, Tumbleweed is populated, and we know it's a ghost town by 1911. So Red Dead Redemption 2's development began shortly after Red Dead Redemption 1's release in 2010, with rough scripts completed by late 2012. The team ultimately merged all studios into a single 2,000-person unit when they realized the complexity exceeded their initial multi-studio approach. Industry sources suggest Rockstar cut approximately 5 hours of content from the game. And again, take that number with a grain of salt. And even if that is true, 5 hours of cut content from the game, it's not like you're really missing anything. I mean, we're talking a game with potentially 1,000 hours of stuff, but apparently this content involved Arthur in New Austin at some point. Early development plans show that the game was initially conceived to start with the Blackwater heist, so you would have actually played it out and seen it, similar to Grand Theft Auto 5's prologue structure, but this was scrapped to maintain mystery around Dutch's character development. And I think the game was better for it, trying to piece together what really went down. And so there's no official documentation. I just need to come out and say it. There's no official documentation that says Red Dead Redemption 2 was ever planned to seamlessly flow into Red Dead Redemption 1. But with all of the assets in there, it seems that it was at least somewhat considered. The inclusion of the entire Red Dead Redemption 1 map, well, almost, parts of Mexico that you have to glitch into. We know that they were at least developing it, and they had the period-appropriate modifications. They put a lot of time and effort into connecting the game's worlds. And they put a lot of time and effort in showing us how things were in 1899, 1907, 1997 before we see it in Red Dead Redemption 1 in 1911. However, we know Rockstar always gets way too big for their britches, and they always bite off way more than they can chew. So while this was at maybe one point considered, it's obviously not what we got. But will we ever see something like this, where at the end of the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2, we seamlessly flow into Red Dead Redemption 1's story? You know, maybe there's a time jump or something like that, and then you have the mechanics and everything from Red Dead Redemption 2. You're playing as John, you go through the entire single-player campaign, and then at the very end of the game, you know, when Jack takes control, maybe we go from there, and it takes us right into Red Dead Redemption 3. So there is still hope for something like this. Recently, there's been talks of remastering Grand Theft Auto 4. There's been talks of, you know, some sort of new medieval game that they could potentially be working on. For better or worse, Grove Street Games did redo their original trilogy, and they did recently remaster whatever. Really, they just brought Red Dead Redemption 1 to PC. But what I'm trying to say is if they're going to do a Red Dead Redemption 3, instead of just a Red Dead whatever else, we could potentially see an HD remake of Red Dead Redemption 2's map, not that it really needs it, and Red Dead Redemption 1's world combined together with all the game mechanics and have it all seamlessly flow into Red Dead Redemption 3. So that is my big tinfoil hat conspiracy. Can you imagine what that would be? I mean, it would be the ultimate Wild West game experience with a full completed story contained within one package. And I think it's a missed opportunity. You know, people talk about how they want to see prequels of Hosea or Dutch. I don't think we need any of that. I think Red Dead Redemption 2, that's the earliest point we really need to start. I would like to know what happens with John Marston's son, though. Even though we don't really need it, we know that the story is pretty much completed at the end of Red Dead Redemption 1, with Jack becoming the very thing that John and Abigail and Arthur even were trying to prevent. So I know that this is kind of out of left field, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm completely off my rocker here. This is an absolutely absurd idea. But do you think it's possible? Do you actually think we'll see something like this in the future? Would you like to see something like this in the future? Do you think the games are done as is and we should just move on from them? Let me know down in the comments. Guys, my name's Dandy Andy. If you're new here, I make videos specifically right now covering Grand Theft Auto 6, but this is kind of a one-off because I'm not gonna lie, I'm in the weeds. So I thought it'd be cool to just throw out something I've always kind of thought about. But if you are new here, go check out those Grand Theft Auto 6 videos if you're just as hyped as we all are for Grand Theft Auto 6. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And guys, there is a lot more coming. I have been extremely busy outside of YouTube and obnoxiously being pulled away from it, but that will change soon. So you can expect more Grand Theft Auto 6 coverage, all that kind of stuff soon. Also, if there's something specific you'd like me to cover, I do read the comments and I do get video ideas from them. So if you got cool ideas for a video or something you want me to research and talk about, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, here's 2 videos for you to check out. Have a great rest of your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there in this crazy, dangerous world. Peace.